Hi, I'm Joe Ward, and I'm an MLA candidate for Cape Breton East, running for the Liberal Party of Nova Scotia. And this video is my official response to the Nova Scotians for Equalization Fairness, who offered an opportunity for all candidates to speak directly to the NSEF and their followers. Now, from the basic premise of equalization, reasonably comparable levels of public services at reasonably comparable levels of taxation, my view is that our level of services is too low and our property tax rates are too high. And we know this. This isn't a revelation of any sort whatsoever. Now, I think anyone who is familiar with the topic of equalization in the CBRM realizes that all three parties have formed government in Nova Scotia and have done little or nothing. While Houston increased the transfer by $15 million, he did so for only 1 year, and then he rolled it into Bill 340 and then reduced the previous transfer. Even from a point of skepticism, the NSEF can consider that they've made progress via their persistence, as two of the three parties, Liberal and NDP, now have election platforms that include the allocation of equalization resources. Now, of course, the history of provincial governance has given us good reason to be skeptical of the potential for actual follow-through once elected. Nonetheless, one of the main three parties in Nova Scotia will be elected. There's no doubt about that. And having two out of the three of those parties make commitments related to equalization is better than the alternative of having all three ignore the topic or refusing to make concessions. Now, there's really only two reasons to pressure the parties in the first place. And the first is to get a commitment. And the second is to make sure that they follow through. If there is no belief that either of those things can happen, then there's no reason to engage the parties at all. Now, as a fiercely independent candidate and a local political voice, I shocked all kinds of people by agreeing to run in this election with the Liberal Party of Nova Scotia, not federal. But after a week of negotiations, I did so only because I believe the platform is the best for the CBRM and because we reached an agreement that lowering the CBRM's property tax value would be included directly in the platform. My DNA as a candidate hasn't changed. It's not as if running on the party ticket is equivalent of getting a Y burned into your chest by the Duttons on the Yellowstone Ranch, a commitment that is for life. My ongoing commitment to the party is contingent upon their ongoing commitment to the CBRM and our needs. Now, I know that the NSEF is skeptical of any negotiation with the province in order to achieve more resources for the CBRM, and it's more inclined towards legal action. But for my part, just as I just said in my CBRM mayoral campaign, I know that the most expedient way to get more resources for the CBRM is to win this election, obtain the $300 million more for the CBRM, or $75 million more per year over 4 years, and to pursue my strategies to lower our tax rates, to incentivize housing, and to kick off a housing boom that puts us on a path to sustainability. After all, that's the most effective use of equalization funding in the first place, achieving a level of prosperity so that it's no longer necessary. I also fully commit to always being available to the NSEF to talk, to exchange information, or to receive complaints if that's what's required. And I say that because that's what I intend to do, not because I needed to ask permission within the party, nor do I ever intend to do so. Folks can underestimate my commitment or my strength of conviction, and that's okay. As folks have underestimated me over the years, I just ignore it and I keep making progress in my own way. Now, I hope to win the confidence of the NSEF in my ability to get a better deal for the CBRM. But in the meantime, I'll just keep working away from any angle I can find to get us one step closer. So let's move one step closer. Please vote for me, Joe Ward, as your next MLA for Cape Breton East.
Joe Ward, 1 minute on taxes.
Okay, tax is my principal thing in my platform, actually. So as the Nova Scotians for Equalization have taught us, we are severely underfunded, and it is the reason that we have tax rates that are killing us in our homes, driving rental prices up, and also hurting our businesses. So basically, we have to bring new funding in, or we have to cut expenses like the education expense that was left in when they did Bill 340. That is how we can adjust the tax rate.